Oh, what is going on, everybody?
Hello!
It is Pixel Brothers here, and welcome back to Ace Attorney Investigations.
You're doing that a lot, and this is the third time you've done a robotic sounding thing.
Well, I'm sorry, maybe I am a robot. Dun, dun, dun. We left off.
Gumshoe?
Yeah, that's my musical record, pal. Dun, dun, dun. I'm Edgeworth's personal jukebox. Just want to play the hits. Da, 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 do. Yeah, da, 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 do.
Oh no,
you know?
stop, please.
All right. So when we left off, Lang's trying to draw this all out even more, and he's been accusing Francesca of being the one that killed Damas II, so we're trying to make this not be a thing.
Yeah.
And so we're going to help her be innocent. You hear that, Franny?
It could to help me be... Okay.
Yes.
As I said earlier, I was assigned to guard duty in the Alabastian embassy. After I saw the steel samurai on his way toward the ambassador's office, I returned to the Rose Garden for a bit and checked up on the security situation. After all the preparations were in place, I was called back by Ambassador Alba to his office. I can't read.
It's all right. I feel you on that one. Francesca, I want us to make this clear from the very beginning.
It's been a long day.
It has. It's super late on an early starting day for us, so apologies if we're not entirely English capable right now. And that's great for me because I'm hardly English capable in the first place sometimes.
So now I'm at your level.
But then I've fallen 10 more levels below that to where
no.
I'm like a second grader right now. So what I wish to confirm is that the only time span in which you were in this office was before the murder occurred. Is that correct?
Yes, of course.
I see. For now, the only way that I can see us to break out of this situation is ask Francesca about her testimony in more detail. Alright, movements and alibis. Let's see what we got here. So, as I said earlier, I was on guard duty in the Alabastian embassy. Let's hear about that. I thought your duty was to find anything you could.
Fact.
was to find facts on anything you could about the smuggling ring. That would work too.
Yeah. Yes, that was my job. But upon hearing that the Yatagarasu had sent a calling card to the embassy, Ambassador Alba called upon us to protect the embassy instead. Was that incident 7 years ago? Or have you forgotten what happened here back then?
Nah. Anything related to that case we were involved in appears to be rather painful for her.
All of a sudden I can read.
It's not exactly one I can readily forget myself.
I think it's because that first few lines is when
Just
you
got to get our mojo rolling back in.
Looks like you remember the case after all.
Of course I do.
I inspected every location, every possible escape route, and every aspect of the police's security detail. I did all that. Then after that...
Say Ralph was late to the ambassador's office. I mean, don't need much on that. I returned to the Rose Garden for a bit and checked up on the security situation.
Okay.
Why did you need to confirm the degree of preparation for even the speech?
For security's sake, of course. What other reason could I have had? No one knew just how the Yatagarasu had planned on getting in, right?
Yes, I suppose you're right.
And in the end, the Yatagarasu did choose to appear in the Rose Garden. Even if it did turn out to be nothing more than a shadow. Who would have thought that she would use a shadow?
Calm down, Francesca.
She's venting.
She must still be nursing a grudge over the fact that she couldn't figure it out herself.
Anyways, there's no one in the Rose Garden. And we were aware that the speech was set to start soon thereafter.
Yeah, for all the preparations were in place, I was called back by Ambassador Alba to his office. But why? Why would you do that? Why would you need it?
I haven't talked as much as her in a while, so I'm kind of rusty.
It's fine. At that time...
I'm used to this voice, you know, it's pretty different.
Yes, at that time, Damas II's body had yet to be found in this room. Is that correct?
That's right. But Ambassador Alba was here. One could hardly miss his rather large presence.
A criminal say anything to get out of getting arrested. How do we know you're not lying?
Well, if you need proof, I'd be happy to oblige you.
Seriously?
Like I keep telling you, when I arrived at this office, Ambassador Alba was already here. He was standing by the flower box on the windowsill watering his plants.
I can attest to that. I'm still here, remember? I remember speaking with the lovely lady around that time here in my office.
All right then. And that's the end of your testimony. And let's hear some details.
Jesus.
So Master Alba was in this room at the time, was he? Let's see.
When I arrived, Ambassador Alba was watering the flowers on the windowsill.
See, so those would be the passion flowers.
Yep.
See, two large flowers bloom. The vines are supported by stakes and are still growing. Okay. Huh. Let me press this then. For the sake of being thorough, I'd like to ask you something. How did you know that Ambassador Alba was watering his plants at the windowsill?
What do you mean by that?
The entrance to this room is on this side, however the window is on the opposite side. If what you say is true, then when you're in the room, his body would have been like a wall. It would have been blocking your view of what he was doing. Isn't that not correct?
I suppose it was a bit hard to see around him. But fortunately for me, Ambassador Alba is not an immovable wall.
Huh?
I knocked before I entered, and as I did, he turned around to greet me, with a watering can in his hand. So it's only natural to believe he was watering his plants, right?
I suppose.
After his greeting, we spent a little time talking about his flowers. He had obtained them himself and is growing them with the utmost care, you know.
Yes, the plants in this room, they're all like my children.
The passion flowers in the flower box on the windowsill are growing beautifully, too. All 4 of them are in full bloom.
Huh?
Wait, what?
There's only 2. What did you say just now?
I said that the flowers are growing beautifully. What about that statement do you not understand?
What do I not understand? I do not understand why a certain thing is the way it is. I'd like for you to append that statement in your testimony.
Very well. Girl, do you need your eyes checked?
4 large flowers. Well, now I know what to do, so that it makes that easy. Now then, I also have a theory. Now, we can't zoom in on this, so this is going to look real small for you guys right now. But I'm curious if these are the sticks that the flowers were on. They're not hair sticks, they were flower things because there's dirt on it, and it's red just like those sticks are, so I'm going to go ahead and throw out the passion flowers. Hello.
That would explain the loop on the end.
Yeah. Francesca, for some odd reason, your testimony contradicts with this piece of evidence.
It does appear that way.
Ha! I knew it. She's guilty. She couldn't lie from 2 to 4. Guilty. I knew we couldn't trust your words, sis.
Mr. Edgeworth, what are you doing discrediting Miss Von Karma like this?
Yeah, sir. If you keep this up, she's gonna get taken away, sir. Ow.
All I've done is state what I saw. I have made not a single mistake in my testimony, and for this, I'm still under suspicion for murder. Is the murder of flowers really all that important as is in this juncture, Miles?
At the very least, there's a contradiction in this.
I can't speak, I'm so angry.
There's a contradiction in this enigmatic case. One that I find hard to dismiss as irrelevant. Ha, then let's hear it, Mr. Prosecutor. What's the number of flowers have to do with anything? What does it prove? I believe the answer to that would become clear when we were to examine the flower box. How did this contradiction come about? There must be something behind this discrepancy.
But they're my beloved flowers. I've grown them all with the utmost care. So I ask that you please be gentle with them as you examine them, Mr. Edgeworth. Oopsie, I dropped out the window. Whoops, guess you can't investigate that piece of evidence. You have to move on now.
I mean, oh no, my flowers.
I understand.
Yeah.
Alright, where's looking nook and cranny? Yes, there's 2 missing spots. I don't even care about the watering can, just the 2 missing spots. Boom. Oh, this patch of soil looks as though it has something removed from it. What are you doing, Mr. Prosecutor? Why'd you clean up all of a sudden? I'm still here waiting for an explanation, you know. Did you know, Agent Lang? Flowers are best appreciated in silence.
Oh, dang.
You think I know silence?
That was a poetic way of saying shut the fuck up.
Yeah. Looks like 2 things are pulled out of this flower box. And confirmation, you can see the gold loopy behind the flower in the thing. So we're gonna touch that, and then we'll deduce it probably with the deduction button. The name of these flowers, I believe they're called passion flowers. Despite being called flowers, they're actually a species of vine.
Huh.
They appear to be growing well and are well supported by these plant supports. Yeah, but no matter how I look at it, it looks like there are only 2 here to me. You realize, don't you, sis? Your little lie has failed you.
Ugh, Miles Edgeworth, hurry up and shut this man up for me already.
Huh. I suppose I will need to use some evidence to shut him up, won't I? Show evidence.
Yep.
I believe I have just the piece of evidence you require. Oh, you do you? You have such confidence in your face and your current plight. But I highly doubt it'll last until the end. You howl like a wolf, Agent Lang. But we'll see if you have any bite to back up that bark after you see the evidence.
Oh, I forgot we were so low.
Let's see, the truth of the past virus reveal can be seen in the hair sticks.
The sticks.
Sheena, who was supposedly in the ball the entire time, had these hair sticks on her. They look exactly like the plant supports in this flower box. In other words, I believe it can be said that these hair sticks are in actuality support sticks for the passion flowers. And so what? Is this really all that important to the case?
Yes.
Of course it is. It means that we've found yet another item that was smuggled between the countries tonight.
You're growling like a chihuahua.
Think about it logically, Agent Lang. These sticks were originally in Alabast, but somehow they wound up in Sheena's hands, who was in Babal the whole night. So make no mistake, these sticks were smuggled somehow, just like the knife and statue. Very well then. She fucking took them too. I want to hear from you exactly how they wound up in Babal. How did these support sticks find their way to Babal and why? Must be some reason as to why they ended up there. So that's why.
Why? Tell us.
Agent Lang, if you would please take a look at this and tell me its shape. Just another stick, isn't it? And so it is, but the shape of the support stick is what is important. For when they are used with something in this room, that's when it all comes into focus. Okay, is it going to be the crossbow? Are they crossbow bolts?
Oh, they
That's the only thing I can think
be.
of that completes the picture when you, because, I mean, I don't think it would be the freaking plant statue of Alba over there.
That would
It wouldn't
explain that
be-
little hook too.
Yeah, it wouldn't be the statue, it wouldn't be the
Brandon.
wall, wouldn't be the sword, and it wouldn't be the knives, so
I mean,
this is my one guess before I break out the walkthrough. I mean, that's the only thing I'm feeling that makes any kind of sense, but why two?
Yeah, why? And why the crossbow?
Because they can be crossbow bolts, because about a minute ago thinking and go push.
But they're just sticks.
But what else would they go to?
The object that completes the picture when used with the support sticks.
It'd either be the only things
Well,
I
I
can
see
really
what
think would
the
be,
quote-unquote pick is.
huh?
Like it's, remember how I said the pick that we found is like a petal of the
Oh,
flower?
yeah.
That's
It's that thing
That's
right
gonna
there.
come up eventually, but
Are you okay with me pushing this?
sure.
That's a crossbow. Wait, you're not really suggesting. I am. These hair sticks, or rather, plant support sticks, they make for perfect arrows. I've done it. I've found the common thread that connects the two offices.
I mean, yeah, when they're
This thread is-
fired, they'll do damage.
Yeah, but this thread is yet to be completely untangled. Even using the arrows, how does this explain how the statues were transported? Furthermore, who could it have been who fired these sticks as arrows? Wait! What if they used that as the way to use the wire to get it
wire, yeah.
between? Is they would shoot it from window to window
Yeah.
with the hair sticks. And so that way they could transport whatever they need to, like the statues, and just...
We just kind of got inspiration from an anime that we just watched.
Yeah, that also helps. That helps a lot, doesn't it? Use
I'm
a
not
bottle
gonna
rocket
name it
next time.
just in case, you know.
No.
It's,
But,
it's good though. It's
yes, it's granted. It's like, which anime are you guys talking about? Well, we don't want to. Well, I mean, what was it? It was something about Wonderland.
No,
What?
incorrect.
What was it? I can't remember.
The Promised Neverland.
The Promised Neverland, not Wonderland. That's it. So, if any of
Peter
you want,
Pan, not Alice.
yeah, it's the wrong lands. I wonder how I could never get that. So.
Yeah, we were late to the party because we know it's been around for a while.
But
and
we
most
literally
people
just
have already
binge
seen
watched it in 2 days.
It's so good.
It's a wonderful anime. Anyways, getting back onto this.
Episodes, so
Yes,
yeah.
it's one of the short ones. So going on to this, the sticks to zeros.
Ignoring our otaku-ness.
Yes, there must be a common thread that ties all of these things together. Ah, shit. Mr. Prosecutor, hold up a second. You do realize what happens when you tie a statue to an arrow, right? They don't fly at all. Oh boy, here we go. Alright, border crossing part 2. So the ball statue was draped in the autographer's clothes and then shot over here? Even if you fired the arrows from this side, they wouldn't go far with the statue tied to them. I don't think I need to tell you that the Prima statue didn't sprout wings. You're a realist after all, aren't you?
It doesn't have to go as the same time as the arrow.
No, the Prima statues didn't sprout wings. Huh, of course they didn't. Glad you understand. I feel much better already. I was afraid for a second that you were unaware of that crucial fact.
What's with him and wings?
It's only crucial because you are under the belief that wings are necessary to this equation. What?
Yeah, literally.
You need to free your mind a bit more and let it fly like a bird in the wind.
Fly like a bird.
I'm a leaf in the wind. Now watch me. Alright. The Prima statues flew, but not on a wing. Allow me a bit of your time, and I'll explain this mysterious phenomenon to you. Rebuttal, border the crossing. Do. And then shot over here. Kinda, yeah.
Kind of.
But that incredible scene just happened to have been caught on film, resulting in this photo. Huh, and what an incredible scene it was. This photo was taken by a freelance journalist, right? Yes, so I hear. And every photojournalist is known to be honest, right? Especially not the ones that sell photos of spirits and giant creatures to tabloids.
Hey, I heard that.
Damn. Yes, I know what you
heard
mean.
that through the ether.
I've seen
Someone talking shit about me again.
I've seen those sorts of photos many a time in court. I've been a part of those, sir. But there have been times when those photos have turned out to be telling the truth. If you had ever stood in a court of law, you would know that is entirely plausible. Huh. You really believe the stuff you're spewing right now?
Just like Lana just sneezes somewhere.
Yeah. A courtroom certainly is a strange place if what you say is true. But there really is something odd about that photo no matter how you look at it. If fighters from this side, they wouldn't go far with the statue tied to them. Well, the statue's not tied to them yet. Jesus
You ever heard of zip lining?
But we're in agreement that an arrow by itself would reach the other side, correct? But just the arrow by itself is pretty meaningless, don't you think, Mr. Prosecutor? Because the things they wanted to smuggle were a lot bigger than nothing. No, that's not necessarily true. What?
Why is he so dense?
What I need right now...
I thought he was a smart man.
Yeah, it's not for the discussion of my conclusions, it's the launching of my conclusions. What the shooter wanted to launch the crossbow is not the statues themselves, but rather something a crossbow can launch that can be used to move the statues, like a wire.
Yep.
Alright. If it wasn't... Hey, so there we go. Now we got that new thing from it. It's gonna go down to the wire.
Oh my god.
Got it.
God.
Big braining up in here. Finally. Finally I dropped the controller. Finally, I dropped the controller. Reached this point of something, I think it was something like that.
Oh no. Can you go to the...
you.
Is there a thing?
That's not in this game. I got... What are you giving me that look for?
You missed dialogue.
It wasn't much. I got it for the gist, and then besides, I didn't mean to drop the controller.
That's gonna bother me.
I didn't mean to drop the controller. I'm sorry, everybody. For I present to you that which was carried by the arrow from the crossbow.
Carried by the crossbow.
I get it now, Mr. Prosecutor.
You have butterfingers.
I can see exactly what you're trying to say. You're saying that the wire was tied to an arrow and then shot into Mr. Cochin's office. All the way from the 5th floor of the Alabastian Embassy. Down to the 3rd floor of the Babalese Embassy.
That's a lot of wire.
If what you're claiming is really what happened, I can see how Alabaster Prima statue could be moved. Gravity could be used to move the statue down the wire from the 5th to the 3rd floor. But then what about Babal's Prima statue? The dark shadow in this photo is clearly flying away from Babal.
Oh yeah.
Going in the opposite way of gravity from the 3rd floor of the Babalese Embassy. Up to the 5th floor of the Alabastian Embassy. How do you explain that? Have you heard of bottle rockets? I think I finally see how the gears behind this whole trick works. Agent Lang, the motion used behind this trick. I wonder if perhaps you have yet to envision how it works in your head. Motion? What motion?
Of the ocean?
It is the motion that was employed to smuggle Ball's prima statue.
What is this? Freaking middle school? They're in science class.
Swinging doesn't make sense. The only two that can possibly be is bungee action or rotary motion. But
how would they do rotary?
I don't know. I was thinking maybe we could go through the evidence to see if there's anything that would point to that. Anything that revolves. You got something for me?
2 of the arrows were taken.
Yes. So I was thinking maybe, I don't know what they're saying by bungee action, but I was thinking that they could use a second arrow with the wire to pull it back up. But
See,
granted,
that would be rotary though.
That'd be rotary? You know what I'm gonna
rotary
do?
like a crank or something? I don't know.
I don't know. You keep talking to the people quick while
I'm not a good
just,
talker of
you're fine. It's not gonna take me too long here.
Oh my god.
So let's see. I just need to go. Don't worry. I've pulled up a text version of the walkthrough so that I can figure out. It's not that. It's gonna be this one, and then I'm going to need
Rotary.
Swangine. Rotary motion is what it is. You were indeed correct.
I was
ding,
right.
Ding, 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 ding. Yay! Here we go. I believe it was done via rotary motion.
Why were you talking so loud the whole time? You said, "Hey, talk to the people," and I was trying to, and you were.
Well, I didn't want it to be. Well, you were saying that you weren't sure what to do, so I was trying to help fill it in. My bad. If the 2 statues were transported simultaneously.
Fucking rude ass bitch.
Simultaneously, get real. The statues collide somewhere along the way. Did I ever say that there was only one line of wire between the 2 offices?
Yeah, that's what I was picturing, but I was having a hard time describing it.
That makes sense. If you shot an arrow with the 2 ends of the wire tied to it, a circular belt can be formed.
Yep.
Langzy says, don't object and call a success.
A success.
A success. What is beyond reasonability?
Man, this success.
Taking into account the tension difference between the 2 wires. The top one would sag too much to the point where the statues would collide anyway. Agent Lang. As you know, the Prima statue is a one-of-a-kind national treasure. And the fact that the Ball's statue is a hollow replica of the real statue. It would naturally be lighter than the real one, meaning that my idea is very possible. Langzy says, would Langzy shut the
Langzy says, "Hiya!"
Oh! Okay.
She's just like.
Here's what I believe happened. I think you need to go back to the furry convention and just reconvene with your people. And we'll get back to this when you're done, when you got out of your system. I don't see your fursuit anywhere, but I would love to see it. Those are pieces of art right there.
Dude, those are impressive.
They take a lot of time and effort.
I cannot imagine making one of those and then wearing it in the heat for hours. Like how?
Dedication.
How do they do that?
Miss Yu and her mystery co-conspirator set themselves up in 2 different rooms. The co-conspirator bridged the rooms by shooting the 2 ends of the wire down on one arrow. Then the 2 of them covered the statues and proceeded to transport the statues. After the switch was completed, another arrow was fired, carrying the other end of the wire down to the ball where it was to be disposed of. And do that, Miss Yu hid it inside the grandfather clock. QED.
QED?
I have no idea what that means. He got whipped.
This proves it, right, Agent Lang? That I'm not the killer.
Not yet, sis. I still haven't had my dessert yet.
Dessert?
Right, Mr. Prosecutor? The proof is in the pudding, as it were. Pudding is a nice dessert. No, it's not.
Pudding?
Do you think you can do it? Can you prove that what you said is what happened?
Glossaric?
Globgort!
Oh no, we don't talk
because
about
remember,
that.
if you can't, I'll be taking a certain someone back home with me as a souvenir. I agree to as long as there is no proof, my hypothesis remains just that. However, What I have laid out is no mere hypothesis, for there is one more piece of evidence. One more? This should be interesting. You think you have a piece of evidence that'll turn your hypothesis into fact? Well then, let's see it, Mr. Prosecutor. The thing that made it possible to create a circular belt out of a length of wire. That is right here in this very room. The fan!
Oh, yeah.
Now I believe this is the only thing that can make a circular motion in this whole goddamn room.
Yeah.
The ceiling fan.
The statue.
Looks like he dropped another bomb on us again.
The statue would be like the most unfortunate thing to accidentally click.
Yeah.
You'd be like, you're kidding, right? That's what went across. What are you talking about? The last piece to the trick are 2 pulleys.
Precisely. The ceiling fans double as pulleys in this case.
A pulley system. Why didn't they just say pulley system instead of rotary system?
I don't know.
Who learns rotary system? I guess it varies.
And thanks to the fact that there is one installed in each of the offices, the ceiling fan's made for the perfect pulley set for the wire to run on. No.
He's not okay.
This must be it. This is how the smugglers bypass the impenetrable security. You really are something else, Mr. Prosecutor. I bet you figured it all out already, haven't you? You know who the big hotshot that set up this real-life stage show is, don't you? The person who set up this rather large and complex stage show needs to be someone who had foreknowledge of the existence of a ceiling fan in both the Alabaster and Bobbly's offices, and that the passion flower support stakes could be used as arrows. Real mastermind behind this case.
Alba himself.
Well, don't you dare make me this wolf wait for this food.
Why are you so hesitant, Miles Edgeverse? If you can't say who it is, why don't you present something like you always do?
A single point of the finger here in this case will explode into an actual incident.
Yeah.
However, it's already too late for me to stop the forward momentum. It appears that I have no choice now but to rush in.
That's what Phoenix does all the time.
There's a piece of evidence that'll point us to who the mysterious mastermind is.
Oh.
Okay, so I think at this point we're going to... I mean, is it going to be... Is it the videotape that we're going to go for?
That doesn't make much sense.
I'm going to see what else there is that could possibly implicate, you know, someone higher up.
Wait, what about the trump card?
The trump card? I don't think that's it yet. Well, you know what?
Oh yeah, that's for the boss.
I believe that's going to be used. I think the tape makes the most sense, but I'm going to cycle through these things
That's for
that
the
pick
literal
wouldn't make
boss
sense.
battle.
Samurai Spear, Domestic Second Note, that wouldn't make sense. Godopian Paper Document. What is on there again? Smuggling Bobbly's Ink. Nope, that's just got the page numbers on there, so that's not it. Huh. Why don't you say what you think for about 2 seconds?
1, 2.
That okay? I was hoping for a little bit more.
That was a joke. Okay, well, would it be the video? Why would it be the video though? That's for the boss too.
Okay, no,
isn't it?
there are 2 things that it can be.
Oh, there's 2 things?
Yes, there are 2 possibilities you can pick. So I'll just go ahead and pick the crossbow arrows.
What?
The smuggling could not have been possible without the use of the crossbow. Furthermore, the arrows that were shot by the crossbow
all came in
were
this
plucked,
room.
as it were, from the
True.
flower box in this very room.
True.
They were planted so long ago that the passion flowers had the time to grow so big that Miss Von Comrie didn't even notice the arrows when she visited this room today.
When she visits.
On top of all this, the fact that the culprit knew that both offices had ceiling fans tells us that the person has very detailed information on the embassy's layout. So as you may have already guessed, that person I'm accusing of hatching this plan is the person who grew the flowers in this flower box with the utmost care. Thus, it can only be you, Quercus Alba.
Oh boy.
Huh?
Oh, dearie, you've messed up, you know.
Are you out of your mind, Miles Edgeverse?
You've done fucked up now.
I'm certain of what I am saying, and I am sure that he is the culprit. Tell me, Mr. Prosecutor, what was the ambassador trying to accomplish by doing all that stuff he just outlined? Why in the world would he need to use a trick like that? I understand your need to doubt me. However, there's one thing that stands out to me as very odd. Just one thing, huh?
That was
One
funny.
single end result Ambassador sought to obtain. If we examine the focus on this complex trick, I believe we'll finally find the answer to everything. But then become clear once we examine this piece of evidence. Okay, is it going to be their statue or the other statue? Babal's was the fake one, which is what's really weird, because Alabaster is supposed to be the real one, but was swapped with the fake one. Is it this one or the other one? It's one of the two. Because the whole statue thing is what comes down to the power of the countries which have been fighting over for.
I don't know.
I'm gonna go with the Alabaster one because it's the real one.
You gonna do that 50-50 thing again?
There we go.
Ooh.
I would fully understand the reasoning had the situation been the reverse. However, to go through the trouble of swapping the real Prima Du statue for the fake, I sense a very shady reason for such a bizarre action. And who better to ask for that reason than King Prima Du himself? I see. Ambassador will be examining that statue now, with or without your permission.
Damn.
Oh dear me, you should have left a while ago.
Okay, I'm gonna flip it. I'm gonna flip it. So we got this handprint here. I know we had that from before. Is Mr. Cochin's fingerprints. The fact that they're on here suggests that this statue once belonged to Babal.
Oh yeah. So it was smuggled from Babal to Alabast, huh?
Why was there a need for them to smuggle it in? What if I look at the sword? With the sword drawn like that, there's an aura of valor and bravery around King Prima Du.
You look so cool standing like that with the sword stuck in the ground in front of him. Maybe I should try and come up with some cool pose with a shuriken or something. Yeah, K, Ninja K.
I'm seriously beginning to think that her real goal in life is to become a ninja.
That's you.
Oh, hey Mr. Prusky, is there anything particularly odd about the sword, right? No, not really. I suppose we should examine a different area of the statue now. Is it gonna be his
face?
His tootsie?
What?
This guy kind of looks like this.
That's me.
Oh, sorry.
This guy kind of looks like the Steel Samurai, don't you think? Maybe it's because they look alike that he was picked to be the Goodwill Ambassador.
I suppose that's possible. Huh? Take this area around the base of his neck. It looks like a gap.
Hey, you're right. Maybe it's meant to be some kind of secret.
Perhaps it's possible to open the statue from this gap in its construction. What?
Hurry up and open it, Miles.
All right, here it goes.
Whoa. Wow, it really did open up. Hey, what's
Hey,
this thing that fell out? Stop
are
trying
those-
to take my lines.
Are those money plates? I believe a more thorough examination is required.
Oh.
I think those might be money plates. What in the... Is this... Hey, is this what I think it is?
It's a plate for making counterfeit bills.
Oh, shit.
Damn.
Somehow, it appears that we've at long last arrived at the exit of this complex labyrinth. We finally hold within our hands one of the counterfeit money plates. And the reason why the replica was smuggled into Alabast to begin with.
Oh boy.
Oh, shit.
That's big.
The premium statue can only be handled by the ambassador of the Secretariat. And the replica is nothing more than a hollow shell covered in gold. These disturbances make the statue the ideal object in which to hide contraband.
Damn.
After receiving the statue containing the counterfeit plate from Sheena, the ambassador had the misfortune of accidentally running into Damask II. Surprised by the thief, the ambassador raised the replica statue at Damask II and... clunk. Then in order to frame the Steel Samurai of the murder, he covered the samurai sword in blood. Well, Ambassador Alba?
Oh dear, I've got amnesia. What's that? What's your name, Sonny?
Who are you?
Who am I?
You're the leader of the smuggling ring? My country is a mess, and it's all because of you?
You're the one who killed Damask II?
Answer us.
I never thought.
I know you haven't. Never.
I never thought that you would figure things out to this level.
Huh?
However, there's one point I disagree with you on.
The
head of the smuggling ring was Mr. Cochin.
Quit screwing around. I have no sympathy for someone who would try to pass the guilt onto a dead man.
That was weird. It was spelled as quite. There was an E
Oh.
at the end. But you said it right, so yay.
There's one thing I am sure of, is that you're the real ringleader, Quercus Alba.
It's no good to speak with such subjectivity, you know, Agent Lang.
Subjectivity? My conclusion is anything but, and is the result of logic and investigation.
Logic and investigation?
Those are Edgeworth's
Only-
superpowers.
only
Logic
s-
and investigation.
Only seconds ago you rated her as Miss Von Karma. I don't think we can give such flip-floppy logic any real weight, do you?
Oh, damn.
Huh?
You like
What's so
laughing
funny?
a lot. Yeah.
Well, we're gonna find out what's so funny next time.
But he's just going to be in a perpetual state of question.
I'm just gonna sit here wondering for 23 and a half hours.
He's so
what-
he's going to be so confused.
I'm just gonna wait here, and by the time you come back to me, I'm just gonna forget what has gone on.
More vines are going to
There was
grow
a
down.
murder
He's
going
gonna
on.
be covered from the tree.
I'm going to look like my topiary in the corner.
I was gonna say that was his twin, and that's what happened to his twin.
Oh, Jesus.
We're not going down that rabbit hole.